And
You missed a good show so far.
many of the technologies that are going to move us to the next generation of clean energy products rely on critical minerals. So it is essential to start building the supply here at home and reduce our country's dependence on foreign-produced minerals and, in turn, wean ourselves off of foreign energy. And reducing that dependence on foreign minerals and energy is as much a national security issue as it is an environmental question. So towards this end, I recently introduced S3783, my American Energy Development and Growth Enhancement Act, which would expand access to critical minerals here in the United States and create what I think are clearly good-paying red, white, and blue jobs. The bill does not deal with mining leases, but would provide opportunities to expand the processing and manufacturing of critical minerals and aid the cleanup of existing mining sites. And folks, we can do this. We can tap these extraordinary domestic resources without throwing the environmental values we feel strongly about in the trash can. So what I'd like to do is just get you, Ms. Wolf, on the record on this point. Mentioned, we all understand the need for critical minerals and dealing with supply chains here in our country. That's what the EDGE Act does. What are your thoughts on this, and what would increase access to domestic critical mineral supplies and support for processing through companies that care about innovation, as you do, as I do, I think our colleagues all do, that produce cutting-edge battery and clean energy technologies?
Thank you so much, Senator Wyden, and thank you so much for your work on that bill, which we very much support. So, as you say, this race for the future isn't just a race to control the raw materials, it's really a race to control the innovation, expertise, and intellectual property that comes along with the downstream industries that flow from our ability to have secure access to those material resources. We want to be, so it doesn't really matter where you dig something up at this point because it all has to get sent to China to be processed anyway. But additionally, if we only focus on building up processing facilities, we need to be thinking about what are we processing, and also, once we've processed the material, who are we selling that stuff to? There is no silver bullet right now. We have to be focusing on the entirety of the supply chain to make sure that these renewable energy industries and high technology innovation industries in our auto sector are not hollowed out. Right now, even if we have processing, we are not making the battery components, those anodes and cathodes, as I mentioned in my remarks. You'd have to send that processed material to China to be processed, to be made into those battery components. So it is this vital midstream, Senator Wyden, and thank you for the question.
Well, thank you. I appreciate the support for our EDGE Act, and I would just say, colleagues, I think, and Senator Manchin and I talk about this, this issue, all of us do. I think that this effort with respect to domestic focus on minerals is a good complement to the Clean Energy for America Act. You know, the Clean Energy for America Act, colleagues, we basically took the tax code as it relates to energy and threw it in the trash can. And what we said going forward is we're going to have a technology-neutral approach, and then we're going to say for the first time, the more you reduce carbon emissions, the bigger your tax savings. So we're all in here in terms of trying to tap these kinds of opportunities. That's what a technology-neutral approach is all about. That's what the effort in terms of freeing ourselves from this dependence on foreign sources of minerals is all about. I support the kind of ideas that are being offered today and in this committee, and this is priority business. And if anything, what the conflict in Ukraine has highlighted is the urgency of this, you know, shaking free of this dependence on foreign supplies in particular is critical. And in so many instances, I'm running back to the Finance Committee, we see people going the other way. Mexico is walking back right now its commitments to renewable energy. So we got a lot of work to do. Look forward to working with all of you and our colleagues here in the Energy Committee on both sides of the aisle. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.